Hey guys, I hope you had a good day yesterday. I'm sorry I wasn't there, and I'm sorry I'm not there today. Crossing my fingers, I'll be back tomorrow. Quickly, I'm going to go over these problems to make sure you understand them, but it's going to be just a quick review because we've done something similar to these in class, if not these exact problems in class. So on the first one, it says Jill walked her dog 3/4 of a mile and then 5/12 of a mile. How far did she walk her dog? So we've got to put both of those together. So when we look at this, we need to find a common denominator because we cannot add fourths and twelfths. You have to have the same denominator. So start with your smaller denominator, 4, and list out your factors. Not your factors, I'm sorry, your multiples. So we have 4, 8, 12. And I can stop there because I see that I have 12 over here. So I know I can turn 3/4 into 12ths. So when I have 3/4 and I'm going to make it equal 12ths, I ask myself, how do I do that? And you do it by multiplying by 4 times 3. So you have to also multiply 3 on the top. 3 times 3 is 9. So now we have 9/12, which was our 3/4. So 9/12 plus 5/12 equals 14/12. And when you notice that, you should have noticed that it was an improper fraction and that you can take 12/12 out to make a whole, and that leaves you with 2/12 over here. So 14/12 is equal to 1 and 2/12. And I know that some of you probably also simplified 2/12 down to 1/6. So either one of those answers, 1 and 2/12 or 1 and 1/6 would be okay. But I do want you to change it over to a mixed number. All right, number 2. On Tuesday, Jill walked her dog 3/4 of a mile in the morning and 3/5 in the evening. How far did she walk that day? So this time I've got 3/4 plus 3/5. So again, I'm going to list my multiples of 4 out. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. I got to keep going because I know I've got to end up with a multiple of 5. Multiples of 5, 5, 10, 15, 20. So I know that they both have 20 in common. So to make 3/4 equal to 20th, how do you make 4 equal 20? You do it by timesing by 5. So times 5 on the top, 5 on the bottom. 3 times 5 is 15. Then to do it to 3/5, we've got 3/5, and to make it equal 20th, we know 5 times 4. So times 4 on the top, 4 on the bottom. 3 times 4 is 12. So now these are our two numbers that we're going to add together. We've got, I'm running out of room here. I'm going to go to a new sheet of paper. We've got 15/20 and 12/20 is what we left off with over there. When we add that together, we get 27/20. Again, we have an improper fraction. So 20/20 is a whole, which leaves 7/20 over here. So 1 and 7/20 is how far she walked her dog. All right, back over here. Number 3. 7/8 plus 3/4 is closest to what? And then it says, explain using numbers, models, and or words. This one is one that you should be able to solve without having to actually add them out. You should use your good mathematical thinking to know that this is only 1/8 away from a whole, and this is only 1/4 of away from a whole. So since they're both pretty close to a whole, it's going to be pretty close to 2. Because just 7/8 in itself is close to 1, and then you're adding 3/4, almost another whole to that. And these answers, 5 and 16, just don't make any sense at all. Now you could draw a model if you wanted to and shade in 7/8 and then 3/4, but you can also just think about it like that. All right, look at number 4. It says, Sam made 2/3 a liter of punch and 3/4 a liter of tea to take to a party. Using estimation, did he make more than 1.5 liters of punch to take to the tea? And it says use logic, not equations. So we know we need to add both of these and see, is it going to be more than 1.5 liters? Now, when you first look at this, you might think similar to what we just thought right here and think that, well, this is 1/3 away from a whole, and this is 1/4 away from a whole. So that means that they're both just 1 piece away from a whole, so it must be more than 1/2. It must be close to 2. But we need to think about how big these pieces are that they are missing, that they don't have. I know with 1/4 that 1/4 plus 1/4 is 1/2. So if I had just one more 1/4 to add on with this to what I'm missing, then I would be at 1/2. So I'm going to help use that thinking and think, well, I've got more than 1/4 right here. I've got 1/3. Okay, so use that to help you think. Now look, let's look down here and let's add it up. 2/3 plus 3/4. So we need to find our multiples and see what our multiple is they have in common. 3, 6, 9, 12. I know with 4, 8, 12. I'm going to stop there because they both have 12 in common. So 2/3 to make it equal 12. I know that 3 times 4 is 12, so times 4 on the top, 4 on the bottom. 2 times 4 is 8. And to get 3/4 to equal 12, we're going to do, times 3. 4 times 3 is 12, so times 3 on the top, 3 on the bottom. And remember, it is 3/3. It's not 3 wholes that we're multiplying by. That's the difference. 3 times 3 is 9. So now I have 8/12 and 9/12 that I'm adding. When you think about adding 8/12 plus 9/12, you should know that you're going to end up with 17/12. We know that we have 12/12 as a whole, and then we would have 5/12 left over. 1 5/12. So, sorry, my finger keeps getting in the way there. 6/12 would be 1/2. So we are just barely under reaching 1/2. Excuse me. Now look at number 5. It says, put these in order from least to greatest and explain why. We did one of these like this yesterday. If you notice, all the numerators are the same. They all have 3. So out of their whole, no matter how many pieces it's cut into, you have 3 out of that. So this whole is cut into 50 pieces, and you only have 3 of them. If it's cut into 50 pieces, those are going to be little bitty pieces you've got. This one's cut into 6 pieces, and you've got 3. 21, and you've got 3. 4, and you've got 3, so you've almost got the whole thing there. And 16 pieces, and then you've got 3. So our big thing that we're looking at here is the denominators. How big or small does the denominator make the part? You know, I told you yesterday, don't just say the bigger the smaller the bigger, because all that is memorizing a saying. You need to be able to tell me that 50 is a large number. That means your whole is going to be split into a lot of parts. And if it's split into a lot of parts, they're going to have to be small to fit them all in there. Whereas 4th is not a big number. If your whole is only split into 4 pieces, those pieces are going to be a whole lot bigger than the 50th. Which would mean 3/50 would be smallest. Then you would have 3/21, and then 3/16, 3/6, and lastly 3/4. Okay? Now let's go to page 2. Alright, so it says, Susan drew this model, and it shows 3/4 of the triangle, and Kim said that 3/4 is equivalent to 9/12 and 12/16. Use the model to show if she's correct or not. So the first thing we need to do is split our model into 12s. If I have 4 pieces, that means I'm going to need to split each of those pieces into 3 pieces. And listen, I only have 1 here, and so I know I'm not going to draw it partitioned equally, and you should not do that, but since I only have 1 rectangle, I'm going to have to not do it right to allow room for something else in a minute. So if I split each of these into 3 parts, again, I know they're not the same size. We're going to look past that for right now. Now I have 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. If you look at my shaded in part, I have 3, 6, 9. So it's the same amount. is 9/12. Now I've got to turn it into 16ths. And this is why I left my space here, so I can divide it up like that. Now I have 4, 8, 12, 16 pieces, and still my shaded part, there's 4, 8, 12 of them. So that's how you can use your model to prove that 3/4 is equivalent to 9/12, and it's equivalent to 12/16. Okay? All right, moving along, number 7. So she's got 2 1/4 cups of flour in a jar. She uses 1 3/8 cups of flour to make a cake. So how much does she have left? This is what she had. This is how much she used. So we've got to subtract that. So let's see. Sorry, I thought I wrote that somewhere. I guess I didn't. So you could subtract this a couple of different ways. You could, oh, I did write it. Sorry, my bad. Y'all, it's been a long day. All right, here it is. Because the first thing I was thinking about is a number line. So here's our 2 1/4, and we needed to subtract 1 3/8. So 2 1/4 minus 1 3/8. So I went ahead and made my number line go to 3. So I've got to subtract a whole. We should know that if we're at 2 1/4 and we go back a whole, we're going to end up at 1 1/4. Because all we did was take a whole off of that 2. So I subtracted the 1 whole. Now I've got to subtract 3/8. That means I need to turn my number line into 8ths. So I know if I have 1 and 1 1/4, half of a fourth is an 8. And down here between 0 and 1, I'm going to start by splitting it in half. If I split my half in half, I have 4th, and I could draw my 4th over here. And then if you split the 4th in half, you end up with, hopefully you're thinking, 8ths. So if I'm right here at 1 1/4 and I need to subtract 3/8, I'm going to subtract 1, 2, 3/8. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is where I ended up at. 7/8. So 2 1/4 minus 1 3/8 is 7/8. Okay, I'm just showing you one strategy you could use. There are others that you could use for that one. All right, Andrew has 56 Starburst in his bag of leftover Halloween candy. 3/8 of the Starburst are orange, 1/4 are strawberry, the rest are lemon. Okay, so we know if we got to have 8ths, that means I've got to take 56 and split it into 8 groups. 56 divided by 8 is 7. But 7 only represents how much 1/8 is. 1/8 is 7. So if I have to have 3/8, I'm going to say 7 times 3, which is 21. And then 1/4 of the Starburst are strawberry. So 56 divided by 4. I didn't think this out. Let me do it over here on my scratch paper real quick. Let's see. 4, 16, 14. So 1/4, when I split 56 into 4 groups, is 14. So 1/4 equals 14. And the reason I don't have to multiply or do anything with that 14 is because it only said 1/4. And up here it said 3/8, so I had to do that 8 3 times. The rest are lemon. So now I need to take 21 plus 14, which is going to be 35. That's how many we have that we know are orange and strawberry. If the rest are lemon, then we're going to have to say 56 minus 35, which is 21. So 21 lemon flavored. Okay? Now, Billy's house. Y'all, we did this exact problem in class, so we should know how to do this one. It tells us that his house is 2 1/5 miles away from his work is 2 1/5 miles away from his house, and his car broke down 3/5 of a mile from work. So he's 3/5 of a mile away from work. So you can see right here, I marked 2 1/5, and then on my number line, in between 1 and 2, I split it into fifths. I'm sorry they're not equally split, but that's just how they ended up tonight. So here's a fifth, here's a fifth, here's a fifth. So I've got right here 1 1/5, 1 2/5, and where I ended up was 1 3/5.